There have been reports around the office that you have been talking baby talk.
Why would people say that?
Well, I have it on good authority that you said the following. You read that back to me?
Andy have a boo-boo tummy.
Mm-hmm.
He calls turtles shell beavers.
Well, that's what they should be called.
They're green. Beavers are brown.
Definitely, we've had this argument. We've agreed to now talk about it.
But you...
Using his vast knowledge of history and politics, we start our day off right with motivational speaker Richard Battle.
So happy to have him on the program. Mr. Battle, how are you today?
Good morning, Al. Thanks for having us back lead off again.
Not a problem. I was thinking about you the other day when Trump was on the TV. You probably saw him on some naval destroyer with 10,000 Navy guys celebrating the birthday and doing the YMCA dance and all that. Did you saw that? It was news.
Yeah.
And I thought, dang it, Battle. We got to get with your publishers, people. We got to get with Trump, and we got to get Trump to make AmeriCANS, Who Made America, the book of the 250th anniversary of America.
Well, I like your thinking.
Well, he's doing that whole WrestleMania thing. I mean, he's letting that, whatever that thing is, he's letting them be there and making some cash. How do we get, Donald Trump said, hey, anybody read this book? Best book ever. Best book I ever read, ever. Or didn't read, but might read. This could be big for you. But let's get your people on it. I don't have a contact with it.
I'll get my people on it this morning.
Don't you think, though? Because your book, how do I put it? We're going to talk about the 250th anniversary of the Navy. We're going to talk about that day because it's big. But you cover these guys in your books. I mean, this is your book coming to life, right? I mean, that's what it is.
Well, that's what we try to do.
Well, so let's get Trump on this. This is big.
You got a base hit on this one.
Oh, yeah, you did. Absolutely. Who are we talking about today? I mean, it is the 250th anniversary.
October 13th is the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Navy, one of the 250th dates we'll see this coming year. September 23rd, 1779 was one of the most famous dates in naval history because that's when John Paul Jones, and I was thinking about it, some of your audience will remember the name John Paul Jones, but their kids and grandkids will have no clue, and they should remember him for many reasons that we'll talk about.
See, that's exactly why you got to pick up Battle's books, because these are names that tickle in my... I heard the name John Paul Jones. I had heard the name. Could I have told you without having read your book last year, what he was? No, it doesn't click. So I know it's probably folks 10 years older than me that were still getting it. We got to remember these people. So what was John Paul Jones known for?
Well, let's back up before the Revolutionary War. So he was born in Scotland. And when he was 12 years old, he went to sea with a British ship as a cabin boy. Can you imagine sending your 12-year-old kids to sea as cabin boys today? But that was a routine thing, especially in Britain, because it was an island nation and the Navy was their big thing. And by the time he was 21, he captained his own ship, which is amazing. Yeah. And so there was a mutiny and a sailor got killed and he ended up fleeing. His name was John Paul at that time, fleeing because they had a corrupt justice system. Imagine that. And so he ends up coming to America. And when the war he changed his name to John Paul Jones. And when the war broke out, he was assigned as a captain of a ship. But because the Navy did not use the merit system at that time, they gave out ships and ranks based on privilege and where people stood in the community. He was way down. And so he knew he had to prove himself. And he advocated for the Navy based on merit and knew America needed a great Navy.
And this is even though this guy had, since 12 years old, had been on the sea. This guy had as much experience as anybody, but they weren't giving it to him because, no one knew who in the world he was.
No, exactly. And so he was a friend and he idolized, or I shouldn't say idolized, but Ben Franklin was a great friend of his and mentor, if you will. And so he got a ship he named the Bonhomme Richard, which is like Poor Richard's Almanac that Benjamin Franklin authored. And on September 23rd, 1779, he was locked in combat with a British ship and a couple of its support ships. And back in those days, they would sail up to each other and throw ropes and bring the ships together, and then they'd board each other's ships, and it was hand-to-hand fighting while they're firing cannons below the waterline.
Yeah.
And his ship started to sink, and so the British captain asked him, "Do you want to surrender?" And his response, which is immortal in Navy history, is, "Surrender. I have not yet begun to fight." And that attitude, it turned the fight that day. They ended up capturing and getting the British to surrender when their powder magazine was about ready to explode. His ship sunk, and so Jones took over the British ship and commandeered it for the U.S. Navy. And that gave him the cred, if you will, the street cred, to be able to have more influence with the Navy.
I love that. And the rest of his story is very interesting as well, because we weren't in the Revolutionary War forever, and he goes back. Let's talk some more about him. Can I go to break quick?
Yes, that's why I caught a breath to give the break.
Thank you. We'll come back with more on John Paul Jones right after this with the Al Travis Show.
When the stakes are high at the Minnesota Capitol, you need more than a lobbyist. You need a partner. At Momentum Advocacy, we bring nearly 90 years of combined experience in government relations, public affairs, and strategic communications. From nonprofits to national corporations, we help organizations navigate Minnesota's political landscape with integrity, insight, and results. Whether you need legislative champions or headlines, Momentum Advocacy delivers. For more, visit momentum-advocacy.com. Momentum Advocacy, your friends at the Capitol.
Achieving your financial goals requires individual planning and a comprehensive approach. At Midwest Money Management, our mission is to provide you with the knowledge, tools, and confidence to feel comfortable financially today and secure about tomorrow. Learn more at MidwestMoneyManagement.com. That's MidwestMoneyManagement.com.
Securities offered through JW Cole Financial Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through JW Cole Advisors Inc., Midwest Money Management, and JW Cole Financial Inc. and JW Cole Advisors Inc. are unaffiliated entities.
If you could save a life, would it be worth 60 minutes of your time? SAVE, Suicide Awareness Voices of Education, wants you to know that you can save a life. The One Step Ahead online suicide prevention training teaches you the 4 easy steps to talking to a friend, coworker, or family member about suicide and how you can give them the help they need. Best of all, the training is free. To sign up and take the training, go to save.org/one-step-ahead. That's save.org/one-step-ahead.
Al Travis Show, the last place you can go and hear all sides. Respectful, thoughtful, and grateful.
I'm grateful to have him. He's Richard Battle on the program with us, talking about John Paul Jones. In reality, the U.S. Navy, the power that it is really predicated on him and this. You brought up, he wanted it to be a merit-based commission ship. You got your commission by how good you were at what you were doing. And he kind of set that in place, right? The reason we have this, I mean, the Navy honors this guy like nobody's business.
Well, many people believe he was the founder of the U.S. Navy, and it's hard to argue because while others were thinking about winning the revolution, he was thinking about that, but about the future and building this Navy that would protect America going forward. And it had to have merit-based on there. So he had this great vision that was so important. And after the war, he ended up going and serving Denmark and Russia in their navies and dying in Paris, and was buried in Paris and forgotten by people in America for over 100 years. And a Civil War general realized what had happened and spent 6 years trying to locate his grave, which he finally did. And they ended up bringing him back, and he is buried at the U.S. Naval Academy at Annapolis, Maryland today in a place of honor because of what he did.
Yeah, he was, again, the guy who started the Navy, if you will. The Navy reveres this guy. That's Annapolis, right? I mean, it's at Annapolis, and they're thinking that I don't think they have a eternal flame over him, but that's the guy that they say, hey, got us where we're at today. So that's how big he was. But he wasn't perfect, right?
Well, no, of course, none of us are perfect, but he strove with, I mean, he valued being honorable. He was principle based, but he knew that to accomplish anything, you had to take risk. And that you couldn't do anything gallant without taking a risk. And so he said, it seems to be a law of nature, inflexible and inexorable, that those who will not risk cannot win. And so as we look at that in our lives today, we have to take calculated risk if we want to get out of our comfort zone and accomplish more than where we are today. And that's certainly something we want for our children and grandchildren, is to have more than we have had in our lifetimes.
Well, is that, I guess, this comes up a lot with the people you do your book on, obviously, AmeriCANS, Who Made America. These folks, were they naturally this way, or with, how was that saying? Hard times make hard men, and hard men make easy times, which make easy men, or, because I'm doubtful there are a lot of Americans today, because maybe the soft times we've been in lately, think like this. Think like the way this guy did. Like you said, it's one thing, we want to win the revolution. This guy's, no, we got to set up a Navy if when we win the revolution, we'll become a superpower. This guy just thinks outside the box, so far out there, but it's probably because of the hard times he grew up in.
Well, yes, he grew up in hard times and accomplished a lot. And he realized that if he was going to accomplish anything, he would have to work hard, serve others, and have these principles that he had, but they are timeless. And it doesn't matter how we're born, what internal gifts we're given as far as capabilities, we can all improve ourselves. And that's part of the message I'm trying to get across, is we can all do better tomorrow than we are today. We don't compare ourselves to other people. Am I better today than yesterday? And what can I do to be better tomorrow than today? And if we instill that again in ourselves and children and grandchildren, we not only will be better and our families will be better, but the country will be better.
I 100% agree. But one of the quotes you put down for him, I would lay down my life for America, but I cannot trifle with my honor. Honor, his self-respect, his honor for himself. You told the story of the person with honor written in the ring. People thought differently back then. I don't even know if we use that term anymore when we talk about people. Is your word good enough? No, I got to have a 25-page legal document to buy a flipping car. You know what I'm saying? Honor is not what it used to be.
No, it's not. But we can reinstill it. And I think that's the effort, because back then when somebody said they'd tell the truth, they told the truth. They didn't say they'd tell the truth and lie. People knew that what they said would affect them for the rest of their lives. Today, so many people fall for the fake that do what you want today and tomorrow to heck with it. It doesn't matter. And that's not true. The things we do today will affect others and the future more than we think they will.
Yeah. Now, this is just one of them. And obviously, he's in the 18th century, Birth of the Republic, Americans Who Made America. You got to get this book. Now, we've already got the next one come out. Very fantastic. You're going to love the Americans Who Made America, the 19th century growth, division, and reunification. And all that came out of Made in America by Americans, not AmeriCANS. And this is kind of the subject we talk about on a weekly. You're always finding these people that show us how we can be better. Tell me how I can get a better deal if I bought all three, can I? See what I did there? That's a radio thing. It's called Segway. Moved it right around, brought it right back. It's a radio
Well,
game.
all of my books are available at richardbattle.com, signed. If you email me, richard@richardbattle.com, after an order, we're happy to inscribe them for gifts, which is real popular. And if you like all three of those, we have what I call a Patriot Bundle, where you get those three plus a complimentary copy of the 4-letter word that builds character.
I love that. So all that is at richardbattle.com. Now, last time you left on last Wednesday, you didn't hear this, but I'd like you to hear it from me. These books are fantastic. There shouldn't be a household in America, if you are an American who really loves America and why it's so great, shouldn't have these three books sitting on the shelf for your kids, your grandkids. Get them and bring them. What a great gift. We have Christmas coming up. Halloween's coming up. Great gift for Halloween. Yeah, you're a good marketer, man. But you put it in a Halloween bag. Some kid comes up trick or treat, and you're throwing them, the 18th century. I think that'd be classy. It's like dentists giving out toothbrushes.
Well, for the special Halloween recipient, but they're also at Amazon, and 11 of the 12 books are on Kindle, and 8 are on audio as well.
Okay. So all of that's going on. I swear I want you to have those books in your library. But the one that really I think every American must have, whether you're into history or not, if you had parents or you were a parent or you think you're going to have kids in your family, you got to get The Unopened Present. This is where I went last week. This book, I honestly think, I think reading changes lives. Good. I made that up myself. No, this one will change your life. This one was the whole story. You had a son later in life. You decided you were going to write down how you be a man, right? I mean, basically the rules of being Mr. Battle. And you're going to share them with your kid. Make sure he had them. But your child passed, it's 6 months?
9 months, yeah.
9 months, sorry. So those notes were in a box somewhere doing nothing. And then you say some radio station guy, wasn't me, too bad, would have been nice, hit you up and said, you got to put those in a book. And you did. And it is a touching book. It'll do things like it did for me. Write that stuff down.
Well,
write down and
there's a God moment that motivated the book, and we go in and explain that, which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So
that's the 4 books. I'm not ripping on any other books. Battle, we've had them on here, or the treasures and all. I'm not ripping the others. But I'm telling you, if you don't have these 4 books in your library, you're wrong. They're good to read. Anybody in the family should be able to read them. They're a fantastic addition to my family's library, if you will. I love these books, Battle.
We appreciate that very much, and we hope we can help others.
And they do, and they will. And again, the history thing, you're just a history guy, right?
Yes.
Here's what you got to do. You got to do one for me for like the 10,000 to 5,000 BC, the whole time they're building pyramids. You put that on History Channel, I watch it. I have to. I got to see the mummies. Write one on that for me, will you? Because I get confused on who came after who and that sort of thing. Can you do that? No? You're not going to do that. Okay.
Well, I'll put it on the list of projects.
Okay, you're good, right? I appreciate you, Mr. Battle. Love having you on. We'll do it again next Wednesday. Fair enough?
My pleasure. God bless America.
Think about it. A famous politician once said,